Happy Friday, June 11th. It's a make sure you wash all the soap off before getting out of the shower kind of morning. I'm Tommy McFly.
Why is the struggle always real with you, Tommy?
The left armpit, I totally forgot it.
I'm Kelly Collis, and happy Friday.
Broadcasting around the Beltway and beyond, it's Tommy and Kelly made in DC on the Real Fun DC channel and on demand anytime, anywhere you get your podcasts.
I want to give you ample warning and ample ready time. We're going to talk to one of the guys bringing the Britney Spears Shakespeare musical to DC. He answers all of the questions you might have about a Britney Spears Shakespeare musical.
Yeah, did he dream that one night and just start writing it? I mean, that's an interesting pairing.
We're literally, he and I stand in the center of the ring just like a circus, and he tells me all the things. We'll get to that in just a little bit.
All right. Well, Amazon is not the only one that's coming to Northern Virginia. This is just an interesting headline I saw this morning. Starkist, the Tuna Company?
Yeah, totally.
Is moving their headquarters to Fairfax County in Reston. They are moving from Pittsburgh. And this is kind of a big deal. They announced exactly where they'll be. They'll be in the Reston Town Center sort of development area, and starting in April 2022.
Wow. I'm a proud Pennsylvanian, although I'm from the east side of Pennsylvania. We've been trying to give Pittsburgh and the west side of Pennsylvania to Ohio for like 4 decades. Yeah. They won't take it, and they think we're New York. But anyway, I didn't know that Pittsburgh was where the Tuna Company is.
I know.
Not on an ocean.
Yeah. So the company has been a family-owned business for almost 100 years. It's been around. So this is kind of a big deal that they're moving here to Reston. This also comes on the heels of Volkswagen moving their headquarters to Reston. So way to go, Fairfax County.
Nailed it, Reston. Also 100 years ago, even harder to get tuna to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I got a lot of questions about that.
Yeah, I don't really know how that works. It's something in the canning process.
Also, Reston, not on an ocean, but I don't think I'm going to be making the tuna cans in Reston Town Center.
Yeah, that's unlikely. That's
really cool. I wonder what Fairfax County's secret sauce is, right? Because with
tax breaks, Tommy.
Well, yeah. Okay, great. Well, way to go, Fairfax County. I would have thought it was the livability and the walkability and the silver line coming and all of the things.
Yeah, no, we're learning about it because it actually came from a press release from the governor. So I do think there was some negotiation happening.
Got it.
But yeah, Fairfax County, of course, has the metro line is being built out there. The obviously Fairfax County is one of the best counties in the country for schools. So I mean, this just is going to add to their bottom line.
My goodness, at some point in the future with Capital One and Audi's already there and all of these things coming to Fairfax County, we may be saying oh, I'm from Fairfax. Well, I'm really from DC, but I'm from Fairfax. Now people from Fairfax, I'm from DC, but they just right outside. I'm from Fairfax.
Perhaps, Tommy.
I think it could be happening someday. So I don't know if I'll live to see the day, but it might flip.
Well, you're wearing your 202 area code t-shirt today. Maybe we should start wearing 703.
Proudly. There you go. That's our text line. If you want to tell us any stories anytime, 703-782-4519. If you see the Starkist tunas in Reston, let us know.
For sure. All right. Now we got to talk a little baseball. Yesterday, of course, the weather was just horrendous for baseball, and the game ended up being moved to Saturday. There's a doubleheader on Saturday, which is awesome. They're playing the Giants, but we're learning about first pitches are coming back. The ceremonial first pitch.
Yeah, pitch please.
And so we're going to start hearing. I have it on good authority. We're going to start hearing about people coming that are local celebrities and maybe national celebrities doing that. And here's what's really cool: the Nats announced yesterday that next Friday, June 18th. His ceremonial first pitch will be U.S. Capitol Police Officer Eugene Goodman. Of course, he was one of the amazing Capitol Police that diverted rioters away from the lawmakers. Of course, he sort of became famed not only from that video, but he was also at the inauguration and just an awesome dude. So he will be throwing out the first pitch for that next week.
That's really cool. Really cool.
Yes. And I guess the Nats are starting to do something like Good Friday, stuff that's good in the news. They're trying to incorporate that into their programming.
Oh.
So he's the perfect person to kick that off.
Seriously, it's like talking about real fun stories. Makes people. It's a movement. People, way to go, Nats. Way to get involved. Maybe they listen.
Don't hold your breath, Tommy.
Way to go, Eugene Goodman. That's awesome. That's not the Nats though. Do that like that sort of like America awesome hero stuff. So I love that.
Yeah, they try. It's a work in progress, I would say.
Also, who's available, but
right.
They had like Katie Ledecky, and they've had like former presidents, and they do some good stuff with the first pitches. Eugene Goodman, I love it. I love to see it. Hey, also this weekend, just a heads up, it is the official weekend of Capitol Pride, observed, because Pride is happening all month long, and also there's like other things happening with the rest of the year. Because I can only imagine how stressful it was planning Capitol Pride while like for June, right? Because for a while we've known like June is going to kind of be the month that things are sort of open-y, maybe sort of ish. We're not really sure, but that was like always the target. And so they got to start planning this like before last week. So
what's happening this weekend though?
Like a whole thing. So the Capitol Pride Mobile is back again this year. And the organizers of Capitol Pride told me that they may bring it back in 2022 or maybe not, but it's this trolley that they deck out and it tours around all 8 wards of the district. Plus, they've asked people to paint the town colorful, which is why you're seeing even more than before pride flags, buildings going rainbow, all of those things. It's a concerted effort around the city and around the region to gay it up.
Well, the National Cathedral celebrated Pride as well, which was, it's always fun to see how they do the light shows and celebrate, local and national causes. So that's kind of neat.
Totally. The art gallery down on the mall lit up rainbow. The night that I walked home, got caught in the rain. I was like, ooh, that's also really cool. Department of Energy has the pride flag out. A bunch of businesses downtown are doing stuff. So it's really cool. And they've taken the whole paint the town colorful thing to heart. And if you want to see the places that are officially like involved on the Capitol Pride website, there's a big map that shows you like little colorful blots all over the place.
Well, the weather in DC is going to be awesome this weekend. Humidity's broken, no rain. I think just another reminder, people, just behave.
Yep.
I know it's been a long time since we've been out. I know it's Pride weekend. There's some baseball games. The weather's nice. Just remember, mind your manners and be responsible.
So last night I went to dinner with some friends at The Point, which is in Southwest. It's the new apartment building, and there's a restaurant from the guys who do Tony and Joe's and Nick's. And I was driving.
It's gorgeous, by the way.
It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Beautiful. Drive right behind Audi Stadium, and then by the base there, like gorgeous. And I'm driving over, and it's in the middle of the rain, and I just saw like dozens of so unhappy, soggy Nats fans, like walking by the park yesterday because it was like 6:30 as the game should have been happening, but also it was monsooning, and people were just like, "Can I get into Mission?" They were like wet little zombies walking up South Capitol Street. I felt so bad.
Well, at least they called the game though before people could go in.
Mm-hmm. I guess. Like I don't know what time it was. All I know, I wasn't paying attention to that because I was trying to get to dinner on time, but there were just like herds of like wet Nats fans just like walking all around.
Because people plan like their whole lives like around coming into the city and parking and doing all the thing, and then they called the game, but whatever. Yeah. All right, another sign of reopening, the cat cafe is coming back. The Washingtonian did a story about Crumbs and Whiskers. I did not go, Tommy. I think you might have gone when it was open. This is the cafe where you can get a coffee and snuggle with a bunch of kittens that were at risk for being euthanized. And it's, closed during the pandemic. Wasn't sure it was going to reopen, but now it will be opening up later this month.
Yeah, I hadn't been. Cats are not really my thing, like a lot of them. But I went. I did not go, but I would support it. I think it's great to save animals that are about to be euthanized.
Yeah, very cool. I know my daughter is dying to go and do this thing, but they're doing you got to make reservations and limited people coming in, and not just because of social distancing, but like you don't want to overwhelm the little kittens.
Yep. Can you adopt the cats that are there?
I don't know that. It says
I think you should figure that out before your daughter goes, because that's how Kelly gets a cat.
No, that is a firm no way. That is not happening. I don't want. No,
that's adorable. You say that.
Nope.
Then you're gonna be like, meet Felix, my daughter's cat.
Oh my God, my little dog Lola would hate that.
I love it. You better figure out if you can bring a cat home with you or not. Like get a little scone and a little Siamese cat. That's gonna be a problem for you.
No, it is not happening.
Okay.
Tommy, the thing that you do with the teenagers, you bring home a cat, I take away your phone. Those are just the things that happen.
Yeah, but your daughter has resolve. And she's stubborn and she's smart. So
I know. Dang it.
tabby and a latte. It's gonna happen. Calico and a cappuccino.
I can't believe we're actually talking about this story because I realize there's actually a local angle, and that's something that you and I like to do is find like things that are happening in DC and the city that we love so much. And it has to do with El Chapo.
Yes. His wife's moving to Old Town. Look at that.
No, she's been here. She's been living here. I forgot that. So El Chapo's wife was detained at Dulles Airport back in February, and she's been housed up in Alexandria at the jail there.
Of course, El Chapo, the international criminal and Mexican cartel leader.
Did you really have to give him a title?
I don't know. You just feel like you need to do that. So,
well, yesterday she's making headlines again because she pleaded guilty that she's helped her husband run his multi-billion-dollar criminal drug empire. So she appeared in federal court, pleaded guilty to 3 federal offenses, and she is in a plea deal, of course, with trying to work all that out. But you know, she's DC, she's local.
Look at that. I mean, wow.
Who knew?
I mean, during the pandemic, like you forgot that she was here. Like I completely, because remember the story happened, and then it was like, oh, that's the thing that happened, and then you forgot about it.
Yeah, yeah. So. Shout out.
who you know, more things going on around the area. Where is the prison in Alexandria?
I don't know.
Because that I am not familiar with that part of Alexandria.
Yeah, I don't really hang out there either.
Okay, I'm just wondering. Thought maybe you might know. It's a federal prison, though, I would assume.
Okay, we're going down a path that neither one of us know the answers to.
That's true. I think it was where Manafort got put too, if I'm not incorrect about that.
Yeah, and there's people that were part of terrorism plots.
Oh, I gotta Google this.
This is called show prep, Tommy. If you're gonna ask these questions.
Well, you know what? I gotta be honest. I wasn't positive that we'd be talking about El Chapo's wife this morning. So normally I'm on the like, what kind of songs is going to be in the Britney Spears musical beat? The Detention Center Bureau, the City of Alexandria. That can't be it. Alexandria Detention Center, jail facility, there's a Virginia agency, Northern Virginia includes U.S. District Court. Yeah, and that must be it. It must be up by like the patent office, I would think. It's on the City of Alexandria website. Look at that. Look at that. You thought it was all dog accessibility and historic waterfronts in Alexandria.
It's a diverse community.
Alexandria Jail. My goodness, look at that. Detention center. Huh. Wow. There's a photo. I'm not going to put it up on the screen, but there's a photo on the website on alexandria.gov/sheriff/info/default where it's like they need like a stock image. So there's like a guy who's a sheriff. He's got a sheriff's hat on. He's got his little badge. He has a little clipboard. And there's just a guy, you can see the back of his head and it just says prisoner on the back of it. So I don't know if it was a stock image. Oh no, that's a real deputy. That deputy works there. And so then there's a photo of deputy speaking to inmate and booking area is the caption on the photo.
The things you find on the internet.
I want to know who that inmate was and if they have his permission to use that photo.
I think you waive all sorts of rights when you're booked into the jail.
That's true. Or if the inmate even knows. And like, what was that photo shoot day like? All right, we got to make photos for the website. Do we have any bookings today? Let's check it out.
Content's king, Tommy.
Hey, Deputy Reyes, we're going to take a photo of you. Look like you're booking someone. And he's like, ready to go.
I think you should stick to something that you know, which is Britney Spears.
I can do that. Absolutely. But if you want to check out the alexandriava.gov website, you can see the photo that I'm talking about. My goodness. So it became public knowledge that Britney Spears is collaborating with William Shakespeare. Kind of. So the Shakespeare Theatre Company is going to have a world premiere in November of Once Upon a One More Time. It's a Britney Spears musical in a Shakespearean theme. And that's all we really knew from the story the Washington Post had. And so I tracked down the artistic director of the Shakespeare Theatre Company, Simon Godwin. He's currently in the UK. So yesterday we had a little time change and a little conversation. And I asked pretty much everything I think you need to know, or you might be wondering about a Britney Spears musical at the Shakespeare Theatre. Here we go. I have a very uneducated, dumb theater question, if that's okay for you.
Please,
When you think about Spears and Shakespeare, is the dialogue of the show going to be Shakespearean?
The show uses contemporary dialogue, so it's going to be super fresh and invigorating and very, very accessible. The Shakespeare is a kind of setting in terms of it's a Shakespearean stage, but the show itself is as up-to-date and funky as you would imagine with a show that uses the music of the great Britney Spears.
How did Britney Spears find the Shakespeare Theatre Company in DC?
Britney wanted to do a show. It was her idea to use the idea of fairy tales to create something amazing from that material. Britney found a wonderful producer called Susan Bristow, who has produced many shows on Broadway. And then Susan came to us at the Shakespeare Theatre Company and said, hey, how about launching the show at your theatre in Washington, D.C.? And I said to her, you bet.
Could a Britney fan who maybe doesn't really know much about Shakespeare appreciate it?
Absolutely. It's a show for all backgrounds, all ages, all levels of experience. And of course, Shakespeare himself took existing stories, existing material, and reworked them in a witty and exciting way. And this story very much works in that style. It's taking the story of fairy tale princesses. They go to a book group each week where they're obliged to read Grimm's fairy tales, their destiny, and they work out how they can get free of the identities they've been given.
Do you think there are some connections to the current legal struggles, things that Britney Spears is going through in this show?
Well, look, I mean, I can't speak about Britney's personal life, but I think she's always stood for ideas of resilience, individuality, idiosyncrasy, joie de vivre. And in that respect, all of those are very, very much to the fore in this remarkable celebration of identity and being not who you are, but whom you dream you are.
Now, walk me through the songbook on this, because Britney Spears has, I think, a half a dozen albums, maybe more. Are we talking Baby One More Time, Lucky, Sometimes, first album, all the way to like, You Better Work, Bitch? Where do we fall in this?
Well, I think it's a pretty comprehensive survey of her music. Yeah, I mean, Toxic is in there, Circus is in there, Lucky is in there. So you're going to see a wide range of the songs that you love the most. I mean, it's a huge celebration of those iconic tunes that have, like Shakespeare, shaped so much of our lives. I mean, I think of Toxic, I think of To Be or Not to Be. I mean, these are big, famous experiences that we'll be delivering on our stage.
And are you currently casting? Do you have the cast pretty much locked in? Like, what's the timeline for us to be able to actually go see Once Upon a One More Time at Shakespeare Theatre?
Well, the show opens at the end of November and runs to the beginning of January. So yeah, it's soon. The casting is underway. It's going to be announced shortly, exactly the actors involved. But auditions are happening right now. Rehearsals will begin soon. And really before very long, you'll be able to see the show on our stages.
Is this going to be like a pre-Broadway run, like we've seen with Dear Evan Hansen and we've seen with Mean Girls and Beetlejuice and the like here in DC?
Well, look, all of those shows that you mentioned have begun their life at DC and had very, very successful runs since. We don't know where it's going to go next, but we're extremely excited about it and very optimistic and hopeful that it will have a bigger life and reach even more people than those just in DC.
I know you're working through casting now and you're not going to tell me who's in it, but do you... I'm going to tell you
that's right. That's right.
Will there be could there be like a big name lead on it, or is it an ensemble cast? What are you looking for as you're casting it?
Well, I understand from the producers that this is an absolutely ensemble-led experience. What we want to do is to bring in lots of performers from lots of different backgrounds that form together a kind of ensemble, a kind of family of the kind that we always love to try and do at Shakespeare Theatre Company. That's not to say there's not going to be a huge amount of array of very exciting talent in the show, and maybe the odd star. Let's see what happens.
Do you think Britney will come to DC to see it?
Well, I mean, who knows? I know that she's excited about the show. I know the whole thing is her idea. wouldn't it be terrific if you did come and see it?
When you announced Once Upon a One More Time, the news, vibrated around the DC area and then around the world too. The response has been absolutely global and absolutely huge. Was that everything you thought it would be, or are you even surprised about how much people are excited about the show?
Look, totally. We had our busiest day at the box office ever. We were inundated with calls. Our website was incredibly busy. People are calling me from, as you say, DC, America, the world. I'm absolutely thrilled. It couldn't be a better start for us as we come back after the pandemic.
How do you get tickets for this?
If you want to buy a ticket now, you can do so as part of a subscription package. So it's actually an opportunity for you to book a ticket not only to Britney Spears, but also to some other shows as well that we're producing. So you get to see not one, but 2, 3, 4 of our amazing program over the next 12 months.
Simon Goodwin, we appreciate you from the Shakespeare Theatre Company in DC. I'm really excited for this.
When exactly is it coming?
So November 30th through January 5th, I believe. So it's over the whole holiday break.
Britney is totally coming to town.
Right? She's got to come to DC.
I didn't realize it was like kind of her idea, because that was the one thing that we were trying to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
She's got to. How does she not?
Right, 100%. And also where the Shakespeare Theatre Company is, if you're not familiar, it's right across from Capital One Arena. There are like a bunch of fancy hotels there. They can even like put her in a suitcase and bring her in and no one would even notice that she's come in or out. So I feel like she has to.
That is really exciting for DC and for the theater.
What was interesting too that Simon said that got me. He was like, the thing about Britney Spears music, like getting through hard times and who you're projected to be and like breaking bonds and like that whole little middle part. He answered, I think Britney Spears is signaling to us even more about her situation. # free Britney.
I love that he was like, I'm not going there.
Oh yeah, totally.
He's like, nice try. I'm not going there.
He was an incredibly proper English interview. I want to talk to him about anything at all, ever.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he's talking about it like to all his friends. He's like, I interviewed with this guy. His last name's McFly, stupid American, asking me all these questions.
He was over in the UK. He made the time change happen. Just like super fun guy. And we talked for way longer than that. But yeah,
he did humor you.
The Britney Spears musical, what you got to know about it.
Oh, that's really cool.
If you want to catch up on our past podcasts, I can't imagine why you wouldn't want to hear more of this circus. If you're feeling so lucky, I promise it's not toxic. Or maybe you missed something part of today's show and you're like, I'd love to just hear it, baby, one more time.
You got one more in you?
Yeah. You can listen over on Spotify and be like, oops, I did it again. Or over on Apple.
You done?
No, I can go on forever, baby.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to this nonsense. We'll see you next time.